Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Tony Moore. Just wanted to come in and just have a good conversation with you. Today, I'm just going to start my new show. If you know me already, I'm an attorney, 21 years attorney. I do women's empowerment. I did children's moment. I taught at Eastern University. I taught at Temple University. I was a financial planner. I did multi-level marketing. I'm a mom. I'm a wife of almost 21 years. And today I'm graduating my 25th year reunion from the University of Pennsylvania. Wow, 25 years. And I'm just going to say, I did not like the person I was 25 years ago. I graduated from the University of Penn. The first 2 years were awful. I do believe I got 2 letters from the dean, and it didn't say, "You are so awesome and amazing." It pretty much said, "Look, if you don't get your stuff together, you are out. You're out on the street. Your dreams of becoming a lawyer is not going to come because of us. You're going to have to live your life however you have to figure it out, but it won't be as a graduate from the University of Pennsylvania." Now, one would think that a person who grew up on the streets and lived in foster care and was fostered by others, and then also was eating on the grounds and trying to figure out how to make extra money and figured out ways, including cleaning people's kitchens, cleaning people's bathrooms, taking care of their children, and then just figuring out what I needed to do to hook up with a drug dealer. I know, I said it. We all have a past. Even people who think that they are so awesome and amazing and never did anything, they're lying. So here's the deal. Well, I take that back. Maybe there is someone out there who's never done anything. But if you've never done anything, then you've never lived. If you've never tried to at least go your pathway, own your power, speak your voice, live your dreams, forget everybody else, then, it's time to just make a shift. Spread your wings out, sister, my brother, and just do what you need to do so that you can live your best life. Unfortunately, I did that pretty early. By the 9 years old, I was already like, I'm running away. I need a better family. I made some shifts. I got rid of my godmom, picked up a new godmom, and just started making these shifts in my life because I realized that I did not like the life I was living. Unfortunately, I also thought that if I got a man or I had a better family or had a daddy, hello somebody, that my life could have been so much better. So unfortunately, I never got that conversation. No one had that conversation. Be who you are. Even in your beginnings may suck. You may not like what you're doing. You may not like what you have to do. You may not like having to grow up in the projects or in the shelters or living on other people's couches or living in their basements. But eventually this too shall pass. And I'm sure that you probably went through some stuff that you never, ever would wish on your enemy. However, such is life. The great thing about life is that you don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to be stuck. You don't have to watch. You don't have to wait. You don't have to hope and dream for Prince Charming, because I'm telling you right now, sister, he is not coming. You don't have to hope and dream for a pastor to blow on you or breathe on you or say, you know what, you're valuable, because I need you to know right here, right now, you're already valuable. You don't need someone to manipulate you. You don't need to be hazed for partnership. You don't need to be hazed to be someone's wife. Whoever is meant for you is already there. See, I'm a God girl too. Okay. So I know 5 years ago, and I'm pushing closer to 50. Not quite yet, but I'm on the other side of 45. And guess what? I heard about this Jeremiah 29:11 that pretty much said that God had plans and purposes for me. What? That totally changed my whole life. Just knowing that God had plans and purposes for me. I was no longer the person who messed up my teenage mom's life. I was no longer the person who screwed a lot of guys. Sorry, hubby, I love you. I was no longer that person. I was no longer that person who was a doormat or anything else. I was who I wanted to be. I got a chance to just be who I wanted to be. And because there was plans and purpose. So if there was plans and purpose, there was a pathway. If there was a pathway, then there was people. If there were people, then there were places that I needed to go. If there were people and places I need to go, that there was a perfect process for me to get to my success. If there was a perfect process to get to my success, then there was also trials and tribulations that I had to go through to get to what was meant for me. Man, that was a whole huge shift in my whole life. It was almost like a matrix moment. Like, oh my God, I don't have to be that girl. Oh my God, I don't always have to be the project queen. Oh my God, I don't have to be the one who got ostracized because I did no longer wanted to be sick and shut in and lowly. I didn't want to live with my hands out. I didn't want to ask for validation, especially when I realized that validation was for parked cars. So when I started realizing that a couple of things, a whole bunch of stuff that I was indoctrinated to believe. I mean, the girl in the hood, in the ghetto, living in the projects with my mom who tried the best she could, who was unfortunately beaten down by society and her own family when she decided to tell family secrets because she too wanted to get out of that sick and that stuck and that shut in mode. But she didn't know. She didn't know that, guess what? Sometimes you're going to have to get pushed out, because when you get pushed out of where you don't belong, then God will pull you in. Wow. So as I traveled along this world, I did a lot differently than my mom. So thankfully, when I did hook up with a drug dealer, finally, who had the money and the power and the success and the cars, and who also professed that he had about 8 kids by a bunch of women, he let me go. He saw potential in me. He said, you know what? I'm going to let you go. Now, that particular time, I was actually looking for a sugar daddy, and I really, really wanted someone to take care of me. So I was kind of disgruntled. I was like, oh my God, I must be worse than I actually thought I was, because here I am, ready, willing, and available. I'm okay with the fact that he's got like pagers going off. Mind you, this was like 25 years ago. I'm okay with the fact that he's got a lot of children. I'm okay with the fact that he's on the other side of, life and society. And I'm okay that I'm just graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, and okay with just embracing a man who probably will be shot up or killed, or probably will get, become such a powerhouse, or in a worse situation in the federal prison. But I was okay with that, because at the time that I was okay with that, I did not know who I was. Okay? And so this is what I know, is that the universe always has your back. Shout out to my girl, Gabrielle Bernstein. But I also know that God will provide for you. See, he's got the plans and the purpose. He's already got the preordained pathway. He's already got the people who got you. He's already got the provisions for you. He's already put the passion within you. He's already giving you the grace and the mercy that will continually follow you. He's already giving you the callings and the tugging at your spirit, so that you can get up and just rise up each and every day, even when the world kicks you down or batters you or laughs at you. But then I had all this in my mind, was touting my degree from University of Penn, that the dean's list kept saying, don't even think about it. And here I was like, what am I going to do? Thankfully, God sat on me. Thankfully, it was in a dream, because I'm a Pentecostal girl as well. And in a dream, my spirit started to travail for me. It started to plead for me. It started to ask God that even though I am messy, and ask God that even though my mindset was jacked up, and ask God to just let me see who I am. I didn't know. I figured that, during that University of Penn, when I was introduced to Roberts, ladies, and a whole bunch of vodka, I became less of who I wanted to be. I became less of who I expected myself to be. I became less of that. And then when the trauma hit and the rapes hit, I just shuddered, and I shrank, and I just stopped speaking up. But I realized that even when I was going through all that, even when I wouldn't go to church, even when I wouldn't say God's name, even when I just despised everything about me, even when I didn't even like to see myself at the reflection of the mirror, God still saw me. And so he had to get me in my most peaceful moment, which happened to be when I was sleeping. So in that most peaceful moment when I was sleeping, my spirit broke away from my soul, and it started to pray for me. And it started to wail for me, and it started to weep for me. My spirit cried so hard in my sleep that I woke up with tears in my eyes. I woke up and I realized that no matter how dirty I was, no matter how many guys went through me, no matter what I said about myself, no matter what I had negotiated with, no matter what was holding on to my soul, no matter what was in my past, guess what? I got an opportunity to be who I wanted to be. I got an opportunity to speak God's name. I got an opportunity to just unleash all that I am. I got an opportunity to be loosed and set free. Yeah, about that same time, I was working at a law firm as a paralegal assistant. I knew I needed to take off because I worked so hard to bring my grades up. I knew I wanted to go to law school. So I went over to a law firm. At the time, it's called Buchanan and Ingersoll, and I worked there. And one of my colleagues, she loaned me this book, and it's called Woman Thou Art Loose. I'm like, what are you talking about? Woman Thou Art Loose. But I read it. People talk about it, and you love it, you hate it, whatever. Whatever those words were at that particular time, it woke me up to the fact that I was loosed and I was set free and I got a chance to be the woman of my dreams. Whew, you talking about waking up, woman, waking up, asking God, going to sleep and asking God to please take my soul away. I messed up. I'm so messy. I can't even get a drug dealer to love upon all these goodies. And for him to just allow the Holy Spirit, to have that holy instant moment where he allowed my spirit to break away from my soul. My spirit, who always wanted to soar and always wanted to live and love and prosper, was got a chance to break away from my soul and to plead for God's guidance and provision so that I can be a better person. Whew. I woke up the next day, party people, and the next day was Sunday. And I went to church with the only thing I had, which was a booty shake and party girl latex spandex, little short shirt, mini skirt. And I walked 7 blocks. I knew I couldn't go 7 blocks to the left because that was University of Pennsylvania. So I walked 7 blocks to the right and I kept walking, and then I stumbled upon a church and I sat there and I got a chance to hear more of God's word, not because of what I did and not because of what anybody expected me, because I don't even think that I even talked to anyone. I just showed up and I learned more about God's love and his grace. And I learned more from this guy. I think his name was Pastor Ruffin off of 50th Street Baptist, I do believe, in Philadelphia. And I got a chance to just hear without the judgment. Now, I'm telling you, unfortunately, women probably didn't like that I was showing up in spandex skirts, but that's all I had. So that's, even God says, come as you are. So if people waited for me to put on a long skirt, it wasn't going to happen. Sometimes I even showed up in pants because that's all I had. I went from party girl to, this is not going to be me. I am going to stop giving away my goodies. And I became celibate. Okay, ladies, I was just like, I'm just going to take booty off the table. That way I won't be defined. That way I will get a chance to separate the guy who likes me from the guy who lusts after me. Hello. So when I could start setting boundaries, and then I started saying, I am the woman of my dreams, and start focusing on what I wanted, then I got a chance to study for the bar. And 25 years later, I have been an attorney for almost 21 years. In 2 weeks, that will be my 21-year anniversary. So what I want to remind you is that if you're not living your best life, if you're not achieving the goals, if the dreams that you had as a child have been suffocated and you threw it in a closet and say, it's too late, I'm messy, maybe I had too many men, or I had too many children out of wedlock, or maybe I pushed back the degree or the opportunity, or the job is not paying attention to me, or the business is not providing for me. I want you to just wake up, woman. I want you to just wake your assets up. I want you to wake up your abilities. I want you to wake up your beliefs and your goals. I want you to wake up your dreams. I want you to wake up your brilliance. I want you to wake up every good thing within you. See, when you wake yourself up and you say, I don't have to worry about what happened yesterday. That could all be a bad nightmare. Yeah, it may have some consequences, but you can work that out. You just got to wake yourself up to this dream that you've been having, where you've been doing just things that people tell you to do, or becoming who people say you need to be, or saying the words, or showing up, or going to the clubs, or bringing yourself to the societal tables that you think that you need to be in. But if you feel like the imposter syndrome is knocking on your door, it probably is, because there's probably a level of fakeness around you that you need to get rid of, because there is no fakerizations when it comes to manifestation. You will always get what you focus on. So if you focus on the little and the small, you focus on the scarcity, you will always get it. I want you to wake up to the possibilities that you can be the woman of your dreams. I want you to wake up to the possibilities that you can bank your brilliance. I want you to wake up to the possibilities that maybe, just maybe, that this is a time for a woman such as you to allow your light to shine too. For any of you who have seen me or heard me in BossUp Radio, I talk about your light, the lessons that you have, the love that you have, the insight, your gifts, your helpfulness, and even your talents, your love, your insight, your gifts, your helpfulness, your talents, all of that. When you let your light shine, when you share your shine at work, at home, in your church pews, in the classrooms, in the playgrounds, in your neighborhood, then people who know you will see you. They'll see the difference within you. Some people will remind you, because I used to have people reminding me of who I used to be. And it got to the point where I only saw who I used to be. But then I had to wake myself up and have to realize that I'm here, I'm present, I'm available, I'm a better person, I'm amazing, I'm awesome. Just because I was a battered child doesn't mean that I have to batter my children. Just because mama got married 3 times doesn't mean that I have to be a woman who gets married 3 times. Just because I know people who were bankrupt doesn't mean that I have to bankrupt myself. See, you got to wake yourself up to the possibilities. You got to wake yourself up to your hopes and your dreams. You got to wake your emotions up so that your emotions don't write a check that your assets can't afford. When you wake yourself up, when you pick yourself up, when you turn yourself around, when you place your own feet on solid ground, when you walk by faith, when you gotta just touch his robe, just like the woman with the issue of blood, she just needed to touch the hem of his garment, because that's all she knew at that particular time. But all you gotta do is just wake up to the possibilities within you. Wake up to the minute miracles that is waiting for you. Wake up to the opportunities that God has set aside for you. When you wake yourself up, when you turn yourself around, when you become a better person, when you understand and appreciate that you don't have to stay where you are if it's holding you back. You don't have to be who people who say that you are, if you no longer want to be that person. I got rid of the black book, ladies. I got rid of being someone's booty call. I got rid of all the messiness. I got rid of the pain and the hurt and the abuse, because guess what? Everybody who messes you up won't come back and apologize to you. But I got a chance to put the closure. I got a chance to seal it closed. I got a chance to declare bankruptcy on my pain and the abuse of the past. I got a chance to be better. I got a chance to take charge. Y tú también, and you as well. Because my God is no respecter of persons. He will provide for you as he provided for others. The same power that's in you is the same power that is in all of the other trailblazers who came before you. The same goals and the dreams, it's already there for you. All you got to do is wake yourself up from the nightmare that you're living in. You got to look around and assess, is this working for me? Is it reflecting me? Is it holding me back? Is it going to allow me to be a better person? Is it going to allow me to speak up and step up and seek up? Is it going to allow me to be the woman of my dreams? If God said that he had plans and purposes for me, perfect pathways and perfect people, if he's given me the passion and the passion project, if he's got his perfect will so that I could fulfill his will, if he asked me and he called me and he's tugging at me and he's plugging at me, he's giving me the gifts and the talents and the abilities and the opportunities to just bring myself to the table so that I can show other people that they're able. See, what I know is it's not about him. It's about you. It's not about what others say. It's about you. It's not about what mama and them didn't do. It's about you. Even when I was growing up, they said, it's not my brother and my sister. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. So if you got to just ask God, divine. In Christianity, they talk a lot about Jesus, and Jesus talk too, mind you, but it's not about anybody else. It's all about you. You put yourself in the room. You assess your footsteps. You assess how your family life is. You assess what your bank account look like. You assess what your business look like. You assess what your career look like. You get a chance to assess all of the things that you've done thus far and ask yourself, do you need to change? I talk a lot about that in my book, Stop Being a Doormat. If you have not gotten it, you can get it online at Amazon and or on Barnes and Nobles, and it's called Stop Being a Doormat. Or you can go to mstonymore.com and get Stop Being a Doormat, because that's the book that I wrote about when I had to remember who I used to be. And then I got a chance to talk about the 20 lessons that I learned throughout the in-between, when I realized that the vision that I've always wanted to see, it can't be given by other people. Couldn't be given by my husband. It couldn't be given by my children. It couldn't be given by the partners at the law firm. It couldn't be given by the people who was providing a check. It only could be manifested through me once I believed in myself. And you as well, my sister. You got to wake yourself up. Wake up today. This is the day that the Lord has made. You need to step up, rise up, and be greater in it. So this is Tony Moore from Wake Up Woman Radio. Just wanted to encourage you that you have everything you need to be who God created you to be. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.